Hey everyone, I just want to take a few minutes and shoot a quick video here about something I posted this week. And you can find it at my blog at rhettsmith.com under the content section. And I've slowly just been kind of posting some information, some different thoughts, practices, things that I think are really helpful in terms of navigating mental health, navigating anxiety, depression. I've focused on some breathing techniques, The Psychological Sigh by Andrew Huberman, which he writes a lot about and talks about, which I really like. I talked about journaling. I think that's a really important practice. And then the other thing I talked about last week was just moving your body, uh, physical movement. I think everybody knows this practically, that when we move our body, we tend to feel better. And there's a lot of just amazing things happening in the brain in terms of physical movement. I was going to read you a quote real quick. It's by, I've read a few of his books, but Harvard professor of psychiatry, John Ratey, I don't know if I'm saying the last name right. This is coming from an Outside Online article. So they're quoting him, or they're writing about him. They said, in his Harvard Health blog, he notes, so John Ratey notes, that one of the ways that exercise lowers anxiety is by activating the frontal regions of the brain responsible for executive function. This helps control the amygdala, which reacts to threats to our survival, whether they are real or imagined. Quote, when you're running, you use more brain cells than any other human activity, he explains, noting that this benefit is enhanced by running outdoors. Quote, if you're also having to focus and pay attention to the change in the environment, looking at rocks and all that kind of stuff, that's even more of a challenge and a good stress on the brain. He also notes that another way that running acts to reduce anxiety is by giving us a sense of control in that particular moment in life. And by doing so, allows us to, quote, be in the moment. Then, quoting again, you're taking charge and not letting the worries from the internal and external environment come in, he says. Particularly right now, with the threat of a virus lurking in the air, passively sitting inside may make us feel threatened, causing toxic stress levels to rise. But we can curb the rise of anxiety and make our own beneficial stress by exercising. So obviously this was written during a time of COVID pandemic. And I'm a little biased in the sense that I've been running my entire life. As a kid, I loved running, running on the playground. I loved to field day. I just loved that. I love my body moving through space, hopping fences, playing tag with people, setting up races in our neighborhood, ran track in high school, got to college and just ran consistently a few nights a week, just a couple miles here and there. And when I hit 30, about 30, 31, I ran my first marathon, Chicago Marathon, 1986. A few months later, ran the Los Angeles Marathon in 87. And then slowly over time, started adding more distance to races. Ran my first 50 miler, I think it was 2015. And I've run like 3 or 4 50Ks, run 100K, also run a 100 miler. And all of these later on were trail runs, 50 miler, 50Ks, most of them 100K are trail runs. And I think that's interesting to note because he talks about how the brain is activated differently when we're out on a terrain and we have to focus on, for example, he talks about rocks, or when I'm on a trail, I can't take my eyes up. Sometimes I don't know if you ever notice when you're running on the road, you can just zone out. Which I don't love. I get bored super easily, but I love being on the trail and just being engaged with my environment, stepping over logs, jumping over water, running around big boulders, just feeling my feet on the dirt. There's something that activates differently in the brain than just being out on the road. So, running is something you can do, but it doesn't have to be running. I tell my clients who sit in this office, just do something, just move your body. I think ideally, if you can get outdoors and walk like 10 to 15 minutes, 3 nights a week, then you're doing something amazing to help reduce the level of anxiety you're experiencing, the level of depression that you're experiencing. Physical movement can be swimming or biking. I love lifting weights too. And again, there's lots of data and research. You can just Google this. Not that you can trust everything on the internet, but you can look at some articles at PubMed. Lifting weights, how it activates and helps the reduction of depression is really significant. You can row, have a rower at home. You can go outdoors and just hike. You can climb. You can jump rope. You can get in the ground. Sometimes I tell people, let's just stop what they're doing in their office and get in the ground and start doing push-ups, and you'll just all of a sudden, you might be tired, but you feel this calm come over you. Just any type of movement. You can go walking with your spouse. You can take your dog for a walk. Just move your body. So as I've been thinking about specific practices, that if I'm to give somebody like a toolkit to navigate anxiety, I'm going to give them a breath practice that they need to focus on. And I've mentioned this already on my website, and I've mentioned it in podcasts. I'm going to focus on a breath practice. I'm going to encourage them to journal. I think journaling and externalizing things out of your head onto paper and reflecting on it is really powerful. And then I'm going to get you to move your body. So there's three things: the breath work, journaling, moving your body. There's other things I'm going to look at here in the next couple of months as well. But I want to encourage you, wherever you're at, just start somewhere. Again, to me, it's about consistency, where a lot of times we get in a period in our life where we have atrophied muscles. We've atrophied intellectual muscles, mental muscles. We've atrophied physical muscles. We've atrophied emotional or spiritual muscles. And so a lot of times, a lot of us are just all or nothing, black or white, and we want to go hardcore. But you know what happens a lot of times when people do that is they miss a day or miss 2 days and they just stop doing it. So I just encourage slow, consistent, simple movements that over the course of time, you get this like stacking effect. I think it's James Clear who talks about it in his work on Atomic Habits, but little consistent habits have a way of stacking up over time, and you build this really big muscle. So if you're stuck, just get out and walk. Walk twice this week, walk 3 times this week, walk around your block 3 times this week in the evening, and do that consistently for 2 or 3 months and see how you feel. And if you feel like you got this habit down and it's consistent, then maybe add something else. If you feel like you're ready to take on a little more, maybe go out for a walk and then add a little bit of jogging at the end. But I want you to be the best observer of yourself and just notice how you feel. And I think what you'll notice is that you just feel more calm. You'll notice a reduction in anxiety, a lift in your emotions, not that flat feeling you get when you're depressed. Give it a shot, try it out, see what you think, and let me know how it goes. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good day.